Hi, everyone, and welcome to the ALC ChangeMakers Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Sconyers, President and founder of Abundance Leadership Consulting. Today's episode features an inspiring conversation with Mary Hoffman, CEO and majority owner of Faucethead Creative, a women-owned branding and web design agency based in Delaware, Ohio. Mary and I first connected through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And what stood out immediately was her clarity, authenticity, and drive to make business deeply personal and values aligned. In this episode, she shares her journey from corporate retail leadership to creative entrepreneurship, including how she stepped into ownership of her husband's agency and reshaped its direction during uncertainty. We talk about how Faucethead is supporting small businesses with accessible branding solutions through their new Signal Tower microsites, why visual storytelling matters now more than ever, how Mary is building culture within her team using the Managing Professional Relationships course from ALC, and how she's finding new purpose by mentoring women through Ohio's prison entrepreneurship program. Mary brings heart, strategy, and community focus to everything she does, and her story is a powerful example of pivoting through purpose. Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. It's Jennifer here. Welcome to ALC ChangeMakers Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Sconyers, and I am here with the amazing Mary Hoffman. Mary and I met in Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses cohort last fall in Columbus, Ohio. And I think we even met in the elevator.
Yes.
I hope we did. Mary, who you're going to hear from in a moment, is majority owner of Faucethead Creative based in Delaware, Ohio. So Mary's going to share her story of Faucethead, how she became a majority owner in her leadership journey. Mary's also a student of ALC now. She's taken a couple of her courses, so she's going to speak to that experience and also share what she's learning in her leadership journey now as things are just changing in this ever-changing place. So welcome, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about who you are and just your leadership journey and also Faucethead. I think people should know what Faucethead Creative is.
Absolutely. Yes, a lot of people wonder if we produce plumbing supplies, and we do not. Anyway, my name's Mary Hoffman. As Jennifer said, I'm CEO and majority partner of Faucethead Creative, which is a marketing strategy, branding, and website design agency. We don't stop there. We tend to do all things marketing, but we are quite the robust little group creatives, and we have a lot of experience to back us, and we love solving really tough solutions for our clients in their specific industries. So I would say, like, where did this all start? My husband started it 25 years ago. He worked for a sizable agency in Chicago and decided that he wanted to do things his own way, and he started at Faucethead Creative then. Fast forward, probably about seven years ago, I decided to start doing some consulting work for Faucethead as I was in my full-time gig, which was in the midst of decades of retail training, developing, recruiting, market introduction for new brands. That was my world. It was all things retail. And I ended up, once we hit the furlough moment in the COVID world in March of 2020, I just really reevaluated things. And instead of taking that furlough time to just kind of hang out and watch Netflix, I started digging in to see what I could do to actually help grow Faucethead and look at it from a business perspective as opposed to it being a creative running a business. And we all know creatives are amazing, but they have a tendency to have a hard time with the background of the business and all the things that you have to pay attention to. So then that's where it started. And I decided to buy into the company. And last year became a majority owner of the company. And since then, it's become this amazing resource for small businesses. We've We're working with local female entrepreneurs now, which is my passion. And, it's just been a wonderful journey. So that's the long and the short.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, in our cohort, we had a number of marketing professionals, right? And I think marketing is not it's not, there's so many nuances to marketing. I think people don't realize. Can you explain the niche of Faucethead and what makes you unique and sets you apart from the pack?
Absolutely. So it's funny because the marketers that are in our class, we all have this view that there's enough of the work to go around. So let's put our specific, strategies and strengths together to make bigger projects and not look at each other as competition. For instance, branding is our jam. We absolutely love when a client comes to us and doesn't even have a logo yet. And so we can brand somebody from conception all the way to interior design of their space. We are really great at website design. We're really great at email campaigns. I would say that our SEO strengths, not so much. We have a partner that we work with that we bring into projects who's fantastic, but we're not known for SEO. We have a social media specialist now that works with us in our team whenever that is included, but that's not what we're known for, So this is an interesting question, Jennifer, because we just had a conversation with our team that we need to really start a campaign to explain to people what marketing is, because a lot of businesses nowadays don't know what that encompasses. And, I think that it's doing a disservice to those of us that are specialized because they think, well, I don't need marketing. I can do that. I'm Canva, or I can, that type of thing. Whereas if we're able to identify ourselves as marketers and what our strengths are, then it makes it easier for the client to just, oh, that's what I need, So I'm glad you asked that. The niche part of it is we're your powerhouse for branding. We can do everything, but we love website design. So.
Yeah, and I think that's important because that was something I shared with our Goldman cohort many years ago when I was, an infant. I was a marketing consultant. That's where I started my career, and that was an advertising specialty. So that was very niche, right? Based on that marketplace. And while that wasn't my calling in life, right, it's where I started. And what I think I took from that was the importance or power of telling your story. In that case, it's a brand telling its story. And, at ALC storytelling, we use it very differently now. It's how you build community and connection, right? There's so many ways we can use our stories, but that's also a part of marketing. And this question of what marketing is, what would you want people to know? Because I think it's like one of those things I see with training. People can devalue training, like, well, I can just do blah, 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 right?
Right.
But it's a skill to do it really well, right? It's not just putting something together in Canva, though you can do that. Can you just explain from your perspective, like what marketing is and how a business or an organization can really leverage and utilize marketing?
Absolutely. Our true north with any one of our clients is to be able to provide the ability for a customer or a future client to land on their webpage without even meeting anybody from the team and get a sense of their mission, their values, their overall energy. I was just talking with one of our cohort members yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that I told her, I said, you have this amazing new space. When I land on your website, I want to feel like I'm in that space.
Yeah.
And you can do templates on Wix and Canva and make things happen to be able to represent yourself. However, am I feeling like I'm in your building when I land on that site, and I'm feeling like I want to call you right away because I feel like we resonate with one another's energies? And that's what we're really good at. And I think that working with an in-person marketing agency will give you, because we're not just a template. We come in, we visit you, we get to know you. When we're in our discovery process, we're asking questions that people are like, why do you care about this? Like, what? I want a website. Why are you asking me these questions? Who cares what shows I watch on TV? Who cares what magazines or digital periodicals I look at? And
Mhm.
it's all important to us because it's all about that personality piece. So
Yeah.
it's a representation thing. When we want to represent our clients in the best possible light, but authentically, and it doesn't matter how it happens. It's just this special sauce and this special chemistry that happens in our studio. And we
Yeah.
truly produce that for them. So it's great.
Yeah. It sounds like what you do at Faucethead is you're telling it's a visual story. So as soon as someone goes to that website, they get a sense of who that company, that business, that organization is, what they value, right? Like it's super clear when you're there, who they are, what they stand for. That's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm curious because for listeners, whenever you listen to this, it is second quarter of 2025. So I'm contextual.
Yes.
And we are in a really volatile market, right? Whether it's the Dow Jones doing weird stuff, tariff talks, the threats of defunding nonprofits, there's instability across the marketplace. I don't think I have anybody yet who feels comfortable right now. That includes this business owner. Like this is an unsteady time. So I'm curious at Faucethead, how are you all navigating these challenges? And what are some like choices that you all are making right now?
Well, we started out as our bread and butter was attorneys, law firms, and manufacturers. I don't think I need to go into great length as to how the current political environment has affected those clients. And so we're actually pivoting a bit because there are a lot of cuts when it comes to their budgets, and marketing, unfortunately, is usually one of the first things to go.
Yeah.
We have an emotional tie to a lot of these clients because they're what we call legacy clients that have been with us for 5 to 10 years. And there's a lot of things that they have gone through personally in this current environment, and we want to help them. So we're changing that. We're changing that relationship to more of
Sure.
consultancy,
Okay.
opposed to tangible items, and just kind of, a lot of the Zooms have been just kind of like therapy sessions. So that being said, we still have our legacy clients, and when they're ready to spend money again and feel that they can, we'll be here for them. However, what this has done is inadvertently pushed me even quicker into the community and making a difference, not necessarily for the big corporate law firms and the huge manufacturers, but making a difference for those of us, because I consider myself a small business owner and entrepreneur.
Yes.
But those of us that are really struggling, really don't know every day when they look at the news, what's going to happen with small business funding and all of the stuff. Very political, but I want to make a difference with those people in our community, our immediate community in Columbus, in Ohio, to be able to still offer them a professional presence and be able to represent themselves in a professional way. So we can all climb this mountain together and get through these tough times. And whether that means, offering, we have a division now called Signal Tower Microsites. Give people the affordable ability to have a professional team, get them online with a professional website. It's a one-page website. And they have the ability to talk to a person, and they don't have to worry about doing a Wix or Canvas site overnight because they don't have time to do it during the day. We do it for them. That has been so rewarding just already, just the momentum that's picking up. People to realize, okay, I thought I couldn't afford this, but I really can. And and once again, because I'm working so much in the community, specifically right now around women, I can't help it. It's just my jam right now. I love women. I love men, but us women in Columbus, us small business entrepreneurial women are a force to be reckoned with. And I'm just making sure our company is doing everything it can to support them through these tough times. So that's how we've done. We even laughed because 6 months ago we looked like a completely different company, and now it's offering solutions for the scrappy business owners that don't have resources and making them look fantastic in their industries. So it's been
No, I love that because it sounds like you've made a really thoughtful and intentional pivot that's values aligned, right? So it's knowing you still have those legacy clients. Those were bigger clients in terms of their size and budgets. There's a lot of changes happening with them. I'm hearing you're pivoting more consultancy with them. So I'm assuming marketing consultancy types of stuff for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then it sounds like the growth opportunity or the innovation has been with the microsites and supporting women business owners, community members, people where you're giving them something at an affordable rate to create a website, knowing these are people who are probably stretched thin, don't know where to begin. They have a conversation with your team and they have a website that's values aligned that does the things they need it to do.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
great. That's great.
And even when we were talking about like bigger projects, like on the Faucethead end, we got the amazing opportunity to partner with Sky Consulting, Jennifer Walton and her team, to put a bid in on the Dress for Success website redesign. And we actually won that bid. So it's a bigger project, but it's still in alignment with where I want to be right now. And that is helping women in the community to roar and
yes,
be able to have a voice and feel confident enough to be able to go out there and be in contention with anybody for a job. And it's so funny because a lot of times you sit back and you think these opportunities, I put the intention into the universe. I prayed for this intention, and all of a sudden it's coming. And it's just like, this is fantastic. If you set that intention and you really, truly work toward and make it your goal and I always say true north.
Yes.
Starts to come, but it's not easy when it starts out. But now we're in that spot where it's like, I'm feeling that coming back. It's providing.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you've taken a risk and the risk is paying off. That's what I'm hearing. I love that. Well, I'm going to make a mini pivot because Mary's only a friend and was in our cohort, Goldman Sachs. Mary also took some of our classes at ALC. So can you just speak a little bit to why you chose to take the classes, but also how you experienced them?
Well, Jennifer, when you told me that you were going to be testing this workshop about how to basically pivot in the post-election world, I think that it was interesting because we were together in this class during the election and the aftermath, and we had a lot of conversations and breaks, and we both are very aligned with our concerns. And I knew I need something. I needed a direction. What do I do from here? Like, where do I go? And that workshop was able to center my focus on basically what I can do to support my team in an effective way, not having it completely implode my team, but it offered me suggestions of how to basically fly up and look at my overall team from overhead and realize what it is that I need to do for each one of them. They're all going to be handling this in a different way. Some ways I align with, some ways I don't necessarily align with, but they're still my team. And how do I get through that shift? So it really helped me. It was actually after I was on the workshop, it was a live workshop. I remember sitting at my desk and just journaling and writing and starting plans for each one, just writing down like my team members and where I felt their values aligned and what I could do to make everybody feel like they still were working with one another and not letting this be the elephant in the room that nobody wanted to talk about.
Mhm.
So I really gained a lot of insight from that. And then now I'm still in the course that you offer, and I want to make sure the name of the course, so you can go ahead and tell me.
It's Managing Professional Relationships. It's the e-learning course. Yes.
That's right, the e-learning course. And so I have been in leadership for so long, most of my career. And this is a tool that I wish I would have had, because I think that I can reflect back on some situations that I had in the workplace or with specific team members that I wish I would have had this knowledge or this insight, actually evaluate the situation a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And I honestly have to say too that even if you may not be necessarily a direct manager or you don't have direct report, that the course actually serves you in other ways too. It actually helps with just working in teams and understanding different diverse personalities in the workplace. And that's really what I'm getting out of it as well. So once I finish the course, I'm actually going to have my marketing director take it.
Great.
Yeah. And I really feel like it's going to be kind of a staple as we grow for people to take, and it's not necessarily a leader in the company. I just think that it's going to be great course material for everybody for working with teams. So thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you. And folks, I didn't care to say that. This is thanks so Well, great. I'm so glad. I mean, when I created the course, just for listeners, I created it years ago. We did this work in university systems, and it was targeted to mid-level managers, but really it's built for anybody. And it's something I wanted to bring back out to the general public and make it really affordable and accessible. The full price is $40 a seat. So, people can put a credit card down, take the course. We want people's teams to use it. So it's not just for the managers, but for the whole team to do it and live the practices, right? So there's work on relationships and values. And so my hope is that, teams like yours use the work to help build your culture, especially now that things are just changing, our work cultures are the things where we have agency. We can do something about that, right? The greater world's kind of a mess, but we have agency when it comes to our organizations and our teams.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Mary, is there anything you want to inform listeners about? Anything you have coming up or any requests you want to make?
I would say take a look at our new baby, our new division, Signal Tower microsites. It's actually signal-tower.com. And just see some of the wonderful packages that are available for those scrappy entrepreneurs that we just can't wait to work with. But also, I think that one thing that I noticed in this current political environment was that I needed to make a difference, not only in the company, but as a person as well. And I really think my advice for anybody that's listening to this feels as though that their hands are tied and they can't do anything to impact their community right now. They're nervous. They don't know what way to turn. Find ways to help. And I actually am partnering with a wonderful man named Jason Dolan, who leads the Ohio Prison Entrepreneurship Program, and he partners with Ohio State. And he actually has a curriculum for inmates on starting up your own business. So I just thought this would be an amazing opportunity. He's now opening it up to the Ohio Reformatory for women in Marysville. And I'm going to go and mentor there. And there's a group of NAWBO members and I that are thinking about doing follow-up mentoring for these women and really helping them gain their wings again. And the coursework is wonderful. It's not just about starting a business, but it's also giving them life lessons and life learnings, like build your credit and that type of thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know that sometimes we want to just hide under a rock during hard times, or we just throw our hands up and say, there's nothing I can do, and I felt like that for a bit. But I started digging and figuring out ways that I could get out there and do something that I felt I could make a difference in. So that's where it's leading me. So who knew? I mean, even 6 months ago, I had no idea I'd be going into prisons and mentoring. But that right now, to me, just that feels like the right space. And then in another season, it might be something else, but always challenging myself to figure out where I'm needed. So
Love that. Love that, Mary. Love that for you, right? So building community, developing your leadership, those are all values of ALC. We love to see people evolve and figure these things out. And like you said, during times of challenge and change, really getting clear about where you can make an impact and a difference is just so important.
yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a joy talking to you, Mary. So glad you could join me on the podcast today.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure.
Awesome. Well, for listeners, if you want to learn more about Mary, where should they go? Faucethead's website, LinkedIn.
I'm on LinkedIn. If you go to Faucethead's website, it's faucethead.com. On the About Us page, my picture's there, but you can also read more about Mary. I love to set up little coffees, even through Zoom, if anybody wants to chat. I just love meeting new people in my community. So yes, that's where you can find us.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary. And for listeners, if you want to learn more about ALC, who we are, what we do, just follow us at jennifersconyers.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time. Thank you so much for joining us today on the ALC ChangeMakers Podcast. If you found today's conversation inspiring or helpful, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps other changemakers like you find our show. At Abundance Leadership Consulting, we believe in building sustainable leadership in connected communities through justice, courage, and care. If you want to learn more about our work, access leadership resources, or connect with our community, head over to jenniferschonyers.com. Until next time, keep leading with purpose, keep building relationships that matter, and keep creating change, one bold step at a time.